I'm not sure if I'll do Hyrox again. And it's not because I didn't necessarily enjoy it, it's more that I'm not sure I have a why for it anymore. I always think, what is my why before I do something, before I do any sort of anything? And I just don't think I have that. In terms of the Hyrox itself, I really enjoyed the majority of it, but the parts that I didn't enjoy, I really did not enjoy. And to be honest, I walk into the gym now and I see some of the equipment that I used to use when I was training, and it just makes me shudder. My why initially was because I felt like I didn't really see a lot of women that look like me, a lot of brown women doing Hyrox. I didn't really see that. And I thought, I can do this. I train hard, I work hard. When I've got a goal, I really set my mind to it and I really push myself to get there. And I knew I could do it and get through it. And I just thought, I really want to show that there are women that look like me that can do this. So that was my initial why. And my other why was because I just wanted to feel strong. I'm 4 years postpartum now, which is quite a while, I guess. I mean, we're so used to seeing people snapping back and we're so used to celebrating that, but it definitely wasn't a snapback for me. My fitness has been a real journey, but I'm really leaning into doing more races and doing different types of working out, and Hyrox was that different type of working out for me. I hadn't done anything like that before and I really wanted to challenge myself. And I remember walking off afterwards and someone saying to me, do you think you'll do it again? And I said no outright. I was like, no, I don't think I'll do that again. And then when I got in the car, I started really over analyzing like where I could have done things better, where I could have gone faster, where I could have, you know, done things a little bit quicker to get my time down. But then I started to think, do I, like, you know, maybe I would want to do it again. Maybe I could do this again. But a lot of it was ego. A lot of it was thinking, if I did this again, it would mean that I get a chance at going even faster and beating my time, which for some people, that's an amazing why. That's a reason for people to do it, to beat their time. But for me, that just felt like my ego speaking. I even thought about maybe I go back and do a doubles instead, but then I just thought, what if then people around me will say the only reason why you got a better time on your doubles is because someone helped you and because you were carried through. And I don't necessarily think anyone's going to think that, because a Hyrox is hard, whether it's a single or a double. I happen to do a singles because I wanted to do that for myself, but that's just a thought that was in my mind, and I thought that's also not a reason to do it. I don't want to then do really well with a partner and then constantly thinking about the fact that I only did really well because I did it with someone. And I did do really well. I was really proud of myself. I beat my time that I had in my mind. But there's always something in me, and I think that that's just how I am as a character. That's just how I think. I am quite hard on myself, and I'm not sure if doing a Hyrox again would be great for my mental health, and that's just not really a healthy place to be coming from. And I think my body was kind of telling me that as well. I just wasn't really listening to it because I was just wanting to get through the training and work as hard as I possibly could. Towards the end of my training, I'd say the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks, my cortisol was constantly spiked. I was feeling puffy, I was holding on to a lot of water. I just didn't feel like myself, like my body didn't feel like it was mine. I was also so tired, like even when I was prioritizing sleep and rest, I was just in this constant cycle of feeling tired. And then when I did go to the gym, I just felt this like dread of, okay, I've got a few more sessions like this, you're nearly there. And it got to the point where I just wanted to get the Hyrox done. And I don't think that's the best kind of mental state to be in. And it just felt a little bit confusing. Like I was doing everything right by the books. I was eating enough. I was resting enough. I was drinking more than enough water. I was doing all the training. It felt like things should feel a little bit, not easier, but a little less challenging because I was doing everything right. But I just felt exhausted. Obviously, it doesn't take into account that I am also a mum and I'm working 3 jobs. So there's that. There was also this constant pressure of making sure I'm getting enough sleep, making sure I'm eating enough, making sure I'm drinking enough water. And to be honest, those are all things I do day to day. Like, I wouldn't have gone into Hyrox being semi-healthy. I consider myself quite healthy, and I like a challenge, and I like going to the gym and working out. But just having that constantly go through my mind day in, day out, it just started to feel like a chore. I started to question why I was doing it, and I had to keep reminding myself of my why. And my why is honestly what carried me through. That is what got me through Hyrox. Not the training. The training obviously did physically, but mentally, like, Hyrox is a big mental game. And mentally, my whys really got me through, and thinking about all the people that had donated and all the people that were really, truly rooting for me, that really got me through. And honestly, I just think, I don't know if I'd want to do that again. When my body doesn't enjoy what I'm doing to it, when my cortisol starts spiking, when I'm showing signs of extreme fatigue, and I'm holding on to water, I'm bloated, I'm puffy, it just doesn't feel like it's aligned. You know, I'm a facialist, I practice holistic healing, and doing something like that felt amazing and challenging and rewarding, but the flip side of it was that I don't think it was right for my body. And when you're working so hard day in, day out, and you're eating well and you're training well and you're putting all this time, energy and effort into something, but you're not kind of aesthetically looking your best, and I know it's not just about aesthetics, but for me, I'm putting all this time and energy and effort into something and I'm not even looking my best, therefore my confidence levels are not great. I'm just like, is this really what I want to do, you know? I think I would just approach things differently if I were to do it again. I think doing it in a doubles would make things a little bit more fun. It would also mean that I have a partner and I have someone that I can talk about these things through with and share the load a little bit, both mentally and physically. I'd have to rewire my brain in how I think around people are going to think, oh, she's only done really well because she's done it with a partner or something like that. I know that probably no one's going to think that, but I need to keep my ego in check when it comes to that. So I don't know if I'll do it again. I think I would just need to work on myself a little bit more, both mentally and physically. I think physically I did everything I could. I trained really hard. I showed up always. I never made any excuses when it came to training, but I think a lot of Hyrox is a mind game and no one really talks about that. You see so much around, this is the perfect form to have for when you're doing the ski erg. This is the way that you should do a burpee broad jump, have a rest in between, all of this, all these tips and tricks around your form and physically what you should be doing, but no one really talks about mentally. You know, working on breath work, having time in the sauna, lots of recovery in between training sessions, speaking to someone, sharing the load with someone. No one really talks about that. So I think I wouldn't do it again in the way that I did do it, but maybe one day I will change my approach a little bit and either do a singles again or maybe do a doubles.